Chris, welcome back. Another big matchup for you. I guess this is the way of life now for you, huh? Getting those big names, those guys that have been in the rankings for a long time. How excited are you to kind of need your way into these big matchups, man?
Yeah, man. Every day is, man, I live like a dream, because, again, I always say statistically I wasn't supposed to be here. I look at my life a couple of years back, and I was like, man, the way I was going, I really, didn't never see myself being where I'm at. So the fact that I am here, I think that's what makes it a little bit more like, I'm in awe of myself almost,
Yeah. And I guess reflecting on that we talked to you right after your fight at Madison Square Garden, there was obviously a lot of emotions. I mean, how big of a moment was that for you, though? I think a lot of the attention was on Frankie and his retirement, but for you and your career, I mean, that's got to be the thing that's really pushed you into this sort of conversation, right?
Yeah. Again, I think I've been overlooked my whole life in a lot of situations, and I think leading into that fight, of course, the attention should have been on him. He's the Hall of Famer. He's the one that's put in the time. And, but like they said, I've been flying under the radar. I've been doing all the things I was supposed to be doing. And, everything led to that night.
When we talked to you on fight night, I don't want to call it a call-out, but we asked you who you would like to fight next, and you kind of threw out a few names, and the first one you mentioned was Pedro. So I guess you must have been pretty excited when that came to fruition.
Yeah, I mean, whoever you get lined up with, you kind of have to, really get no choice. So, the fact that I did call him out and, the fight was able to be made, yeah, I think this fight's going to be exciting for the fans, really.
And is that what you liked about it? Was it the matchup? Was it the excitement factor? Was it his name, rankings?
I think a little bit of everything. He's a credible opponent. He's been around, and you've seen what he can do. He brings an incredible skill set, and so ultimately that's what we're here to do, is test ourselves against the greatest.
Expect a lot of leg kicks to be thrown in this fight between the two of you?
We'll see. That's a surprise. You got to tune in.
I guess, can you break him down a little bit for me, just, without giving out too much? Been a tough guy. He's been a top contender for a while. I guess, how do you go out there and top that?
Any way I can, really. He's got some tendencies. He's very tough. He's very durable. I think he uses that to his advantage, but without giving too much away, I think use his aggression against him. His aggression would be his downfall.
You got a bunch of teammates on this card, too. Do you kind of like that sort of whole gym vibe, or is it difficult to kind of have everybody's best interests?
Yeah. No. It's amazing, man, to have 4 guys on the card. We're really close teammates and friends, so just makes the environment like we're back at home, So it's fun to me, I like it. So we all get to feed off each other and bring all that energy on Saturday, and we get the all together push forward,
Great. Thanks, Chris.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Chris. I think a big talking point of this fight is the leg kicks. What do you think of Pedro Munhoz's leg kicks compared to yours?
I mean, I haven't felt them, so he hasn't felt mine either. So, I think it's going to be a good fight. I mean, whether it's leg kicks or not, you never know. I might just wrestle him. He might wrestle me. You never know. We got to be prepared for everything.
No, absolutely. Is that something that you prepare for in training camp? Is, obviously you're probably going to get Jonathan Martinez with his kicks, and is that something that you prepare for?
Yeah, I mean, I train with an incredible group of guys, who are just as good as me at leg kicks, or as good as Pedro at leg kicks, or Jonathan as leg kicks. So the fact that, he's not going to do anything that I haven't seen. And I believe I take a different set of skill sets in the cage that most people don't see. So, I do take that as, for me though, in my opinion, that's my advantage that I have, and I believe in that. How does
it feel to be ranked?
It feels amazing. Just like I said, man, a couple of years ago I wasn't even in the UFC. Didn't even know how. I had really no vision as to, everybody wants to be in the UFC. You want to get signed, but the fact that only 1% of that really happens. So, to finally get in the UFC and now to be ranked and moving up the ladder, man, it's a dream come true. This is what we're here for.
You mentioned you didn't feel seen, for a minute. But how does it feel? Like, do you feel like you're finally getting the respect that you deserve? Like, obviously you're ranked, and you knocked out a legend in your last fight. But I feel
No.
like a lot more people are paying attention to you.
No,
Do you feel that way?
no, I don't think I get. I don't believe I get the respect I deserve. But again, that goes to show, that's been my whole life like that. I've been overlooked my whole life. I really haven't gotten the respect that I deserved or earned, most importantly. But that's okay. I know at the end of the day, I haven't never been given anything. So when I accomplish something, it almost feels twice as nice because I know I wasn't handed anything. I had to. I always feel like I have to do twice as much to get the same that first place gets. You know what I mean? And it's like I really had to dig deep in order to get the same prize. So that's been my whole life, and I've accepted it, and I'll get my respect by doing what I'm gonna keep doing.
What do you think it's going to take for you personally to feel respected? Like, is it another big name? Is it a title shot? Is it what is it?
I don't know. I don't know. And to be honest, I don't really think I care. I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't know. It's almost like saying, you want to be understood. I don't really care about being understood. You know what I mean? So I don't really about the respect. I don't believe I get it, and I really don't care at this point.
And then it's kind of like a random question, but for your next fight, where would you like to fight? Do you want to fight back in Jersey? Do you want to fight in Colorado? Do you want to fight where some Latin fighter? Where's a perfect spot for you to fight?
I mean, of course, if I could fight, somewhere in Latin America, of course, I would never say no to that. That would be number one. Number two would either be in Colorado or, maybe one card in Texas. A Dallas one would be nice, but, who knows?
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey, Chris, just one question for me. If you pick up the win on Saturday, this would be 5 in a row for you. Over here. This would be 5 in a row for you, and Pedro's currently ranked 9th, so, we just talked about you being ranked, and you'd likely take that spot. How many more wins do you think it would take for you to get into that title conversation? We know your division's obviously the most arguably stacked division in the UFC, so 5 in a row, top 10, what would you think?
I don't know. I mean, to be honest, guys, I don't really look past Pedro. It'd be nice to be able to say how many more after this, but that means that my energy and focus wouldn't be on Saturday. So I don't look past Saturday, to be honest. So all my attention and focus is on Saturday. We'll get to that when we get to that,
And then just one more follow-up. A few weeks from now, big title fight in your division. Just curious to get your thoughts on the matchup between Aljo and Henry.
Whatever happens, happens, I don't know. I don't really care about it.
Well, are you okay answering in Spanish?
Sí, está bien.
Okay. Bueno, aunque naciste aquí, pues mucha gente latina te sigue por los países donde provienen tus papás. ¿Tú cómo te sientes respecto a ese apoyo? How do you feel about the Latino support?
Claro, somos muchos, ¿verdad? Muchos hispanos y pues el amor y el orgullo que siento del público se siente mucho, especialmente cuando estoy el día de la pelea. Los mensajes, los videos que mandan, es algo muy bonito, ¿verdad? Es algo muy bonito que se mira que el amor del mundo se está regando, ¿verdad? Y pues es un honor realmente y quiero recibir lo mismo este sábado. Y voy a necesitar el amor y el apoyo de mi gente.
Perfecto. Y respecto a la pelea, ¿hay algo en lo que priorizaste respecto al rival, considerando que es alguien que le gusta ganar mucho por submission? ¿Es algo que se priorizó en tu preparación?
Claro, con todo, no nomás las sumisiones, el ataque de kickboxing también, porque también le gustan los golpes. Pues yo le tengo una sorpresa para él. Eso se va a tener que ver el día del sábado.
Gracias, guapo.
Muchas gracias.